Welcome back to Futureland, your friendly and most reliable source of technology news, the latest gadgets, and anything related to the tech world. Brace yourselves as we introduce to you these 15 future technologies that will alter the world. You should watch the entire video to stay on track and keep up with how the world is always changing. First on the list, the self-healing concrete. You didn't know, concrete is the most commonly used material in construction, more than wood and steel. Although it is a strong and resilient material, the issue is that it is prone to tension, resulting in cracks that weaken its integrity over time. Researchers have developed a revolutionary long-term solution known as self-healing concrete by incorporating bacterial spores in a food supply like yeast extract into the concrete mix. It is so interesting that when the bacteria are exposed to oxygen and water due to the crack, they start to absorb the food, grow, and eventually make calcium carbonate that would fill in the gaps that a crack would make. This would help avoid dangers, replacement, maintenance of concrete, reducing accidents, and construction costs that may be really expensive. Second on this list, graphene. This material is promising for the manufacturing or construction industry. Even though it is complex to produce, it has now been recently researched and well understood to be viable with electronic or other devices and many more. With its two-dimensional hexagonal honeycomb formation of carbon, just 0.1 nanometers separate each atom in a layer that is 0.3 nanometers thick. It is 6 times lighter and astonishingly 200 times more durable than steel. Since it only absorbs 2% of light and is impervious to even the lightest gases, it is practically entirely transparent. It is also a much better electrical conductor than copper. It is even adaptable to change as it is possible to add chemical elements to the surface. For our industry and future development, this would be a game changer. Third on the list, 3D printing. Did you know that a printer is the future of manufacturing a wide range of objects? From clothing to medical equipment and infrastructures, all of these can be made possible through 3D printing. Debuted in the 80s, 3D printing works by adding layer after layer of materials that result in a three-dimensional object. This invention will surely cut costs on transportation fees and leftovers in building objects, even houses. All you need is the material and the printer itself. On the list, connected homes. With constant technological advancements and internet integration into our home, our life has become more and more uncomplicated. This has made our life easier and made us focus on the things that matter, like our jobs and responsibilities. Having a connected home facilitates the integration of a variety of hardware, software, and apps like communications, entertainment, security, and home automation, which improves functionality. Examples of these are lighting control, smart locks, smart TVs, and voice recognition assistants. In 2022, 85% of Americans currently own at least 2 smart gadgets, and this percentage is projected to rise. Consequently, smart home appliances will soon become one of the most widely used gadgets in the near future. Fifth on the list, GPT-3. Generative AI has been quite a trend in this modern time. Tech companies are starting to integrate and develop AI in their products and services. Deep learning is one of these ideas, which enables computer algorithms to automatically identify performance-improving solutions by analyzing past behavior, just like GPT-3. It, unbelievably, can compose words or other actions in a manner similar to that of a person through a third-generation language prediction model created by OpenAI. It is one of the most challenging efforts of human replication. According to preliminary research, it is tough to tell whether something was written by GPT-3 or by a real person, and corporations like Microsoft have already started incorporating it into their products. In the near future, we might be able to watch the news or read stories without human contribution, all just with AI alone. Next on the list, blockchain. Novel decentralized currencies use blockchain technology as a foundation of how these currencies operate. This is not just about what's the best cryptocurrency out there, but it enables history tracking of products, which can be very beneficial. How is this possible? Well, it works by integrating blocks. Blocks are pieces of information linked by a cryptographic mechanism. Once integrated, this serves as a permanent record. This leads to owners knowing when and where the products originated and aid in validating whether an item is authentic or fabricated. 7th on the list, quantum computing. Zeros and ones may run a traditional computer, but with quantum computers, qubits in the form of 1 or 0 quantum states or a hybrid of both run this thing. This implies that the latter can tackle an array of inconveniences. This is beneficial as we have been dependent on computers to accomplish our everyday tasks and roles. However, since the 80s, experts have been eyeing the great leap a quantum computer can achieve. At this present time, they may have been closer than ever to achieving that aspiration. 8th on the list, edge computing. As technology takes place, most of our activities and work are now held online, or at least with digital influences like meetings and emails. Unlike cloud computing, this edge computing significantly reduces latency and reliance on centralized cloud providers like Microsoft and Google. This means that through edge computing, our devices would give us access to our virtual needs faster, since it doesn't run workloads within the cloud. This puts storage and processes nearer to you, instead of depending solely on limited data centers, giving us the best service possible. You would be avoiding the risks of cloud computing like security and privacy issues. This helps those who are far away from data centers. With edge computing, accessing your smartphones and self-driving cars like Tesla would be much more efficient, as it can operate independently without relying on a server's response. But it also has to be centrally managed. As a result, it is automatically updated, allowing for increased algorithmic efficiency. 9th on the list, fighting fire with sound. Wildfires have been rampant all over the world due to climate change. For instance, in the city of California, wildfires have increased 5-fold since the 70s. To extinguish these fires, many are hesitant to deposit chemicals onto the land. Moreover, water supply has been an issue. Now this is where this option, which debuted in the year 2015, takes place. An acoustic extinguisher utilizes sound waves to cut off oxygen from the sources of fire. The result? The fire simply ceases to exist. The future is looking bright ahead, as this can be a newer approach to beating fires. 10th on the list, floating farms. With the rise in demand, supplies may face difficulties to keep up. If we continue to grow in terms of population, then we must find new solutions on how to increase our food production to meet everyone's needs. Approximately 38% of the world's land surface is used for agriculture. About 1/3 of this is utilized for farming, and the rest are for pastures and meadows for grazing animals. If we can't increase our agricultural land due to urbanization or other land development and want to prevent deforestation in creating more farmlands, then we may opt for floating farms. This type of farming utilizes unused ocean surfaces to profitably accommodate farming and make it easily movable without disrupting and consuming more space on land. In fact, it is already being used for years now in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Belladon, the company using floating farms that accommodates 40 cows, has been in operation to produce milk through efficient automated systems. Now, this is the next level of farming, bringing you the products as soon as it is available. 11th on the list, satellite constellations. As space technology is increasingly developing, its cost and capabilities may also improve. This increases the viability of developing own satellite constellations of several major tech companies like Amazon and OneWeb. Just like GPS network where they operate within a network in nodes, SpaceX's Starlink constellation will offer internet connection to most of the world through signals from space networks. As of today, SpaceX has launched over 3,000 satellites with the intention to launch 39,000 more. If this continues and other companies will start developing their own, these space constellations will soon light up our sky. 12th on the list, GPS-3. A global positioning system, GPS, was first launched in 1978, owned by the US. It was meant to be for military uses only to know one's location on Earth, not until now that almost everyone and some electronic benefits from its system. There are 31 operational GPS satellites right now in space, and the first 24 that were originally launched in 1995 weren't that accurate and accessible in some distances and areas as structures may interfere with or block their signal. Thus, Lockheed Martin developed the GPS-3 to improve the system and network just so the military won't have any problems with inaccuracy, interference, and blocked signals. It has even 2 times more design life, 15 years, and 3 times more accurate than other satellites. So, it can detect locations up until 1 to 3 meters instead of the original 5 to 10 meters. 13th on this list, spin launch. With the popularization of space exploration, private space companies are looking into how ordinary citizens can be taken into outer space. Now, the challenging part would be the pollution that a conventional spaceflight produces. In 2014, Spin Launch, with the support of big companies like Google and Airbus, decided that rather than utilizing chemicals for rockets, they are developing a launch system powered just by kinetic energy in a vacuum-sealed centrifuge machine spinning rockets rapidly, up to 5,000 miles per hour, before launching them into space. Even the centrifuge machine uses renewable energy from wind and solar sources, and only using fuel once it reaches outer space without creating a mess in the Earth's atmosphere. However, this is designed for satellites only. But this technology could make human space travel more accessible, environmentally friendly, and affordable. It will bring down the cost from $55 million to just $500,000. It is definitely a huge difference. In a few years' time, with all these launch testings they've been conducting, we would see a lot more of space than ever before. 14th on the list, lithium metal battery. Quantum Space took matters into its own hands by manufacturing solid lithium-ion batteries instead of the dangerous ones, which are made out of liquid parts. What an innovative way of acquiring energy from green sources! Prototypes have been made that might be too bulky to fit inside electric automobiles. But don't worry, as QuantumScape has inked a contract with Volkswagen to market these batteries in the year 2025. These battery models are said to increase the vehicle's capabilities by 80%, which can be charged in a quarter of the time. And last on our list, hydrogen fuel cells. Renewable energy sources are the way to go for most companies nowadays. Most manufacturers are looking into reducing the dependency on fossil fuels. One example is the innovation of electric cars. It doesn't rely on fossil fuels to function. If we are going full electric and battery, the electrical loads necessary cannot be handled by our electrical grids. Additionally, although batteries may be appropriate for electric cars, they are not yet at a point where they are practical for larger vehicles like trucks, ships, or airplanes. This is due to the fact that it will be heavy for batteries to retain the charge that large vehicles need. Therefore, hydrogen fuel would be the best option. All types of energy sources, including renewable, can be utilized to make hydrogen, and when it is consumed, the only byproduct is water. Some car companies have already produced hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. This would be much better for the environment if we use this fully on the larger scale. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to be notified on our latest uploads. We will keep you updated on the latest and hot topics on technology here on Futureland. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next video.